An event of Olympic proportions brings sixth graders from across the district to one location. Shawnee Mission says thanks to hundreds of volunteers who are making a difference in the lives of students. Some members of the class of 2012 get a very special opportunity to connect with a Shawnee Mission graduate from 1936. And students help the environment by getting creative with some rain barrels. It's all ahead on this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Welcome to Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. I'm your host, Leanne Neal. For the past 26 years, sixth graders from elementary schools across the district have gathered for a little friendly competition. The annual Olympic Festival has all of the pomp and circumstance of the real thing, from athletes parading through the arena, to the torch run, and even an Olympic oath.
For the glory of the sport and the honor of our team, let the games begin!
Individual competitions look like those you might see in the Summer Olympics, with track heats ranging from the 50-yard dash to the 800. Some students choose to test their athletic prowess in the long jump, while others throw themselves into the high jump.
If it comes off, you can hit the ball with your hand or your head to keep it alive.
There were also some group events meant to foster cooperation that aren't quite what you're used to seeing on TV.
We have the cooperative activities where students work in groups of 12 to compete in different events. And we have the crazy relays where they have to work together as a team to get through the relay style, and it's mainly for fun. We have individual events that they get to choose from so they can excel in a thing that they are comfortable with.
In one group event, students must keep a large ball in the air as long as possible. In another, students hold the edges of a parachute and must work together to keep the ball in motion. The Rubber Chicken Challenge asks students to work as a team to fling a rubber chicken as far as they can through the air. Then there's the ski race.
Buddy skiing, you have your whole group and you are basically one foot on the right ski, one foot on the left ski, and you have to use teamwork and you have to get all the way down there.
The point behind this Olympic festival is to give students an opportunity to spend a day outside in friendly competition with their peers from across the district.
It's pretty cool because we come out here with different schools and just have fun.
I think it's fun. It's fun to see all the kids here interacting and having fun and just having a day for themselves.
Seeing nearly 1,000 students on the field enjoying the day is a treat for Howard Becker, who helped start the Olympic Festival 26 years ago.
Very proud person. I love to see it. It's one of the largest elementary activities for the phys ed department in the nation and the biggest in the state of Kansas.
This year, student athletes were joined on the field by several Kansas City Chiefs players. In addition to taking time for high fives with lots of students, the players got involved in some of the group games.
It's fun for sure. You know, we just got done with the workout and it's just fun to see all the energy around all these little kids.
I think every year you see something great going on here. You see the kids light up about something they didn't know they could do. You see the kids seeing all others and saying, wow, look at everyone here, all for one cause, all for the kids here.
Just like the real Olympics, with so many events, for some, it's hard to pick a favorite.
I like the races, but I also like tug of war a lot.
You know, if you see the kids having a good time and the smiles on their faces and they're getting a workout and, you know, competing against other classmates and other schools and having a good time, that's really what it's all about.
Moving from sixth grade MVPs to district MVVs, or Most Valuable Volunteers, administrators, teachers, students, and board members took a moment to thank more than 250 volunteers who give of their time to help in Shawnee Mission schools. The annual Volunteer Appreciation Breakfast began with a performance by the Indian Woods Jazz Band. The musicians entertained the crowd with classics such as The Girl from Ipanema and Soul Man, as the honored guests enjoyed a meal together.
I'm president of the board this year, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this breakfast, and I'm absolutely delighted to say thank you for myself and on behalf of our Board of Education for all the work you do in our schools. We could not accomplish all that we do without your help.
Youth friend Richard Nitsch works at Belinder with Caden Gerd. The two usually meet right after recess.
First thing I say is, Caden, your shoelaces are untied. And then we get to spend 35 minutes or so together with some spelling, and I'll ask him, how's your day going? What's going on? Caden, I appreciate working with you, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Well, the Youth Friends program has been very good, and I think it'll help a lot of kids.
It's almost nice to see you all.
It's always nice to see you again.
Bill Klein has been volunteering with PE teachers for 25 years and enjoys the camaraderie with students.
I call all the kids by whatever name I can think of. And they keep asking me, what's my name, Mr. Klein? What's my name? And I have to think of any kind of name that comes to my mind.
It's so nice to say thank you to these people that give up their time for no pay and make an impact with our kids.
Shawano Principal Alejandro Schlegel says teaching isn't necessarily a youth friend's most valuable role.
Most importantly, they're there just to listen. Sometimes teachers aren't listening, our parents aren't listening, and our volunteers are just there to be there.
During the ceremony, Volunteer and Community Partnership Coordinator Rachel Larson had a special message for the volunteers.
Please, please know the important impact that you have and are making on the lives of students. Even though your youngster may not be able to always put it into words, your willingness to spend time with them, to be that person who comes not because they're paid to come, but comes just to spend time with them, truly makes a huge impact, and your friendship truly does make a difference.
The district presented each volunteer with a certificate and small gift as a token of gratitude for their service.
That's why our community is so great in Shawnee Mission. People are willing to give back. I mean, in all sorts of different ways. Volunteering in our schools, being a part of chambers of commerce, other volunteer organizations that make a difference in our community. And that's really what it's all about. And in our district, we need volunteers.
For more information on how to become a volunteer, visit smsd.org and click on the Youth Friends button on the right. Some Shawnee Mission students get the chance to try out being attorneys by actually trying a case. Up next, a visit to mock trial class. And a 1936 Shawnee Mission graduate gets a lot more than he asked for when he reaches out to his alma mater.
Hi, my name is Greta Christensen, and I read the book The Grand Mosque of Paris, written by Karen Gray-Roulet and Deborah Derlin-Desay. In the 1940s, the Nazis took over France. Many Jews had to escape. The Grand Mosque in Paris had to help these fleeing Jews. Those helping were very brave. The Grand Mosque was the community center for Muslims in Paris. It had many hiding places to help these fleeing Jews. Will the Jews escape? Will the Nazis find out? Read this book to find out. I rate this book 4 out of 5 stars for its amazing stories of real people and for its great pictures. So check it out.
Welcome back. Courtroom TV dramas always seem to wrap things up in under an hour. But as some Shawnee Mission High School students are learning, that's not quite how it works in the real world.
The state also asked you return a verdict of guilty of murder in the first degree. The moment the defendant got off the plane to Topeka, began drinking that night.
Although this isn't a real courtroom, what these high school students are doing is just about as close to being an attorney as they can get. They're part of the mock trial class at Shawnee Mission East. The class is part of the curriculum in the district's Legal Studies signature program.
I think with each facet of legal studies, there's a different component to it. And I think mock trial obviously gives the kids that actual trial experience.
Please state your name and address for the records.
They play both sides, the prosecution and the defense. And so basically one of the first things that they learn to do is develop what's called the theory of the case, which is they basically, as a group, as a litigation team, they sit down and go, okay, as the defense, this is our theory on what happened, and this is what we're going to try to show.
Jennifer Hunter leads the mock trial class. She says students prepare just like real attorneys, writing opening statements, closing arguments, and direct and cross-examinations.
They gave us the witness statements, and we had to go off of that to see what we wanted to do with the case, how we wanted to present it to the jury and judge, how we wanted to ask the questions, when we wanted to ask them, the order we wanted to ask them, which witnesses we wanted to go first. It was all us.
As student attorneys, class members learn the rules of evidence, courtroom procedures, and decorum.
It's even better than I thought it was going to be because I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know exactly what I was getting into. And then once I got into it, it was just like a lot of details that I wouldn't have thought of.
It's just a cool experience, yeah. It's almost like being a real lawyer.
As part of a litigation mock trial team, student attorneys try their cases against other mock trial teams in real courtrooms with practicing attorneys serving as judges.
I love it. Like, law has always been something I really enjoyed watching on TV and stuff. And actually having an opportunity to do this kind of stuff at school is really nice, and competitions like this is really fun. So I really like it. I'm really pleased with it.
It definitely has already sparked my interest enough to encourage me to look into law schools and what I want to do afterwards. So it's definitely got me on the right path to achieving what I really want to be.
Hunter says she enjoys watching these students gain confidence in a courtroom setting.
Sometimes I forget they're high school students, and so sometimes I have to take a moment and think, wow, that was incredible.
We came in thinking it was going to be like what was on TV or what we saw in movies, but we came in and it was nothing like that, but it was better. Your Honor, I have no more questions.
To learn more about Shawnee Mission's Legal Studies Signature Program, go to smsd.org. Under the Students tab, look for the Signature Programs link. Some Shawnee Mission North students and educators had a rare opportunity to connect with their school's past. Bill Vandenberg graduated in 1936 from what was then Shawnee Mission Rural and is now Shawnee Mission North High School.
We used to have a streetcar that ran out there, and that's why I went to school in a streetcar.
The lunch meeting was the perfect opportunity to share some favorite memories.
I played in the band, played the trombone in the band, and then I was on the pep club. And it was always a great thing when we got to go out of town, to go to Leavenworth or Lansing or Atchison or someplace like that to put on a program. One of the best programs we put on was at Roseland Grade School, because I graduated from Roseland.
This is a solid tradition-based building. And these are, some of our best and brightest students here. These are great student leaders in our building. They understand tradition and respect for tradition, and I think this is just a living example of what Shawnee Mission North, or Shawnee Mission Rural as it were, is all about.
He's been telling us stories about when he went to school and his family, and he remembers stuff pretty vividly from high school. He told us some pretty funny stories.
They do have Alzheimer's unit. I say I don't have Alzheimer's, I just have half-timers.
During the meeting, Mr. Vandenberg had an important message he wanted the students to hear.
Gentlemen, whatever you do, be sure that you study hard, that you might think the teachers are hard on you and they're giving you extra homework and all, but in the long run, and one of the things that my opinion is you should take, you can never get too much English.
He had some advice for their teachers, too.
So you never know what it is, who you're teaching or anything. So that I'm telling you that if you hit the right spark, you can really have a big influence on their lives.
The guests had several gifts for Mr. Vandenberg, including an alumni directory, a vintage yearbook from 1938, a current yearbook, a Shawnee Mission North blanket, and one more thing.
This is a photocopy of your report card from 1936. Now, I want to point out, I looked at some grades here. I don't know that Spanish was your strongest subject.
1, 2, 3.
While he appreciated the gifts, it was the visitors that mattered the most.
He seems to be really happy that we even came, and it seems really small, I think, to some people, but
I think to him, just coming in for like the hour we've been here has been a huge thing for him.
I had to make my choice, and that I say two things that you either had to say you like the things that they brought you the best, or do you like the people that came? I would have to say I like the people that came.
The meeting went so well that the group invited Mr. Vandenberg to attend Shawnee Mission North's graduation. He was introduced as an honored guest during the commencement ceremony. Up next, the business plan that turned out to be a real winner for a Shawnee Mission High School student. Plus, find out why poetry had students packing the library at Shawnee Mission Northwest when Spotlight on Shawnee Mission returns. Welcome back. In the middle of National Poetry Month, Shawnee Mission Northwest students stepped up to the microphone and let their voices be heard at the school's 7th annual Poetry Slam.
Find me, lost, alone, searching, wandering, stumbling, straying. Find me.
Nearly 100 students presented original poems to a packed library.
I've since learned that living in fear of being embarrassed of who you are, it's just not living. So own your quirks, your twitches, your silly little habits, and your humiliating pasts. After all, they're proudly a part of you.
The poems are usually about teenage life, what's going on with us, things that are important to us, and things that we care about, and things that we would like to tell other people about.
There's a finalist taken from each round.
Karen Baltzley was one of the broadcast hosts for this year's Slam, which is streamed live on the internet. Poets that performed shared their work with students and teachers who made up the Slam audience.
Honestly, I've always liked the Poetry Slam. I'm a senior this year, and it's always been a fun thing to go to. There's a lot of interesting people that go up and, share their poems, and it's always nice.
Because when you say there was once love, I say when.
Judges are picked from the audience. Heather Jackson takes the job seriously.
I think of how much they put into the poem and the way that they said it and how much they seemed to think about the words that they were saying.
Let's talk about senioritis. All the decisions are being
Poems hit on topics that included descriptions of the high school experience, comedic observations of everyday life, and details of hopes and aspirations.
Because sometimes we have to get the wind knocked out of us to remind ourselves how much we love the taste of air.
My poem was called My Farewell Address, and that was a poem about, actually, when you read it, you think that I'm talking to a friend, but what I'm actually doing is I'm talking to myself, because often what I struggle with is that I'm my own worst enemy, and so this was a poem when I was kind of having a bad day, and so I just decided to write it all down.
I think it's really cool because it's a chance to not have people judge you. You can feel free to say what you want and be able to know how your other students feel going through their day.
Sponsor Lindsay Kincaid says the Poetry Slam goes by its own set of rules.
The points aren't the point is the poetry. So the best poet doesn't always win, and the best poem doesn't always win. It's all about getting the audience excited.
If you're a natural poet, you probably already know it. But we're just here to have some fun. And it's sad to say we're finally done.
Our congratulations to all of the participants. These poets aren't the only students getting accolades at Shawnee Mission Northwest.
Ethan, I'd like to present you with a $2,500 scholarship from First National Bank for winning our 2012 Business Kind competition. Thank you. Congratulations.
Representatives from First National Bank interrupted a Shawnee Mission Northwest class to surprise Ethan Zolotor, the winner of the bank's business plan competition.
And Ethan did a fantastic business plan and came and presented to 5 of our bankers, and he won a $2,500 scholarship, so he got first place.
First National Bank offers this competition every year to encourage students to develop business plans and think like entrepreneurs.
It's just a wonderful opportunity to start with an idea that they have and develop it from just a seed to fruition, and it's a good opportunity to meet some contacts in the business world and present to executives at the bank and develop the skills in presentation as well.
Ethan says his plan for an alternative fuel cell company took a lot of work.
A ton of thought into it, and you have to have a really sharp plan. Like, you've got to do a lot of crunching of numbers. You've got to plan, you know, how you want to run it, the structure, who you're going to hire, and in my case, who's going to manufacture it, who's going to provide the materials. And so all of that went into it in tons of hours.
Congratulations also go to Shawnee Mission North's Rashawn Hara, who won second place and a $1,500 scholarship, and to Shawnee Mission West's Cole Lawrence, who won third place and a $1,000 scholarship. Up next, find out why it is easy being green at Apache Elementary, and using sock puppets to teach parents about the connection between art and learning.
Hi, my name is Ivy. The book I read was The Evolution of Calpurnia Tate by Jacqueline Kelly. This book is about Callie Tate, a girl in the middle of a family of boys, set during 1899. Callie does not want to be a housewife and mother. Her grandfather, who is a naturalist, opens up to her, and they start exploring their farm for plant, bug, and animal specimens. They find a plant no one has ever seen before, so they send it off to a college. They then have to wait and see if it is recognized, and they will be famous. Read this book to find out. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars for all the description, action, and great characters. I love this book.
The new Apache Elementary was designed with many green features, from solar panels on the roof to landscaping that conserves rainwater. So it makes sense that the school's cultural arts night and open house would have a green theme too.
Got it.
Student designed and decorated rain barrels were sprinkled throughout the building.
They're rain barrels. You put them outside and they catch rain, and then you can reuse that rain for other things.
Educators who lead the school's art, music, PE, and library efforts jumped on the environmental bandwagon.
They kind of were so great and jumped into the project, and it's turned into this whole big collaboration with videos from library, and 6th graders painted their rain barrels in my room. They did a drumming thing in their music classes, and Miss Stinson, our teacher, has organized this giant scavenger hunt and videos to get the kids kind of pumped up for this evening.
Rain gauge.
In the library, we created informational videos on how important conserving water is and the importance of a rain barrel and what a rain barrel does. And those videos, the music video part was put in with the video that they created in the library through research and a lot of fun.
The rain barrels were provided by Keep Kansas City Beautiful, and the group also helped educate students on environmental issues.
It's been incredible. I was really surprised. I was able to work with the 6th graders before they started the project to teach them about the importance of water conservation and what their watershed is and how they're related to where they get their water, and then to teach them about what rain barrels are and how they can be used and the benefits. And then they just took the idea and ran with it.
Families who entered a drawing had the chance to win one of the 16 rain barrels to take home.
You could do anything. There's like a hose, you can wash your car, water your gardens, and it's clean water because the net holds all the stuff that comes down from the rain that's dirty, and the clean water goes into your rain barrel, and there's a little hose.
The designs on the rain barrels are absolutely exquisite. They've worked hard. They deserve a lot of credit.
Students who attend school at the Shawnee Mission Instructional Support Center were treated to a special evening of art. It was also a chance for teachers to show parents the important connection between art and learning.
What do those look like? Glasses? We put some glasses on it.
I love art, and I like the excitement that it adds to learning and the language that it adds to learning when they can tell you about the art that they've made that relates to a story. But it's a great way to get it more language, and it's just fun.
We have some green eyelashes. Would you rather have that?
Early childhood experts say these activities, especially when combined with communication about the work created, help students build language skills. To get the creative juices flowing, it was time for a story from Miss Sherry.
We're going to read a story together called The Artist Who Painted a Blue Horse. What is this on the front? It's a horse. What color is the horse? It's a blue horse.
From there, it was on to the craft, sock puppets.
And you can make ears. We have hair bows. We have glasses. You can make whatever you want. And it's back at your table with Mom and Dad.
I want to make a cow.
You can. So raise your hand when you can tell me what color you want. Look at all the colors.
We wanted to make sure that all students participate in the arts. So one of the things we did was have some staff development for elementary music and art teachers, and then we also wanted to have parents enjoy doing artwork with their students because we knew that then they might do that more at home.
After creating the faces, the children got some help hot gluing them in place.
All right, here you go. Here's your circle eye.
She's using hot glue. That's why she has to.
I'll put your glasses right here.
Then it was time to show off their new creations. With the puppets complete, it was time to explore another type of artistic expression, fun with musical instruments.
Listen up. If your instrument's a circle, play along with me. If your instrument's a circle, you can play along with me.
As part of the event, parents took home a toolkit full of ideas and activities related to art. These early childhood experts hope it encourages parents to give art a try at home.
I would hope that then they would feel comfortable to do art at home and not say, oh, it's too messy, or, oh, I'm not an artist, I can't do it, or, oh, gee, maybe not. I hope they'll go home and say, oh, this was great fun, we can do this, and what a great way to extend learning, have fun with learning, and get all that brain activity going.
We were really pleased with the turnout. The kids were adorable, the parents were all very gracious, and they all got in there and did a puppet project, and it was great having all of the early childhood teachers here as well because they really helped support the students.
You want to try it?
Our thanks to Start With the Arts and the Shawnee Mission Education Foundation for making this event possible. That's all the time we have for this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Join us again as we continue to feature the programs and people of Shawnee Mission who are helping guide students to success. Thank you for watching.